Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happenings show today. In this Cricket Happenings show, well, we are going to look at the match between Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Today was day 3. Well, over there actually Pakistan couldn't offer much resistance. In fact, yesterday, as you know, they were 123 runs ahead. Well, at the most that they could do is they could extend the lead to 179 and they were all out. So that actually left a 179 lead for Pakistan. They definitely lead that, and in fact the Sri Lankan bowlers did a good job, especially Suranga Lakmal and Shaminda Ranga getting a bit of deviation of the pitch. They really did some damage, and then Rangana Herath came in and cleaned up the tail, and that's what enabled Sri Lanka to actually keep the lead to a not a minimum, I would say, but keep the lead. I mean, probably looking at things, one would have expected that Pakistan would go off to probably 500 runs, but that was some good work done by the Sri Lankan bowlers, which restricted Pakistan to 383. So that gave them a 179 run lead, and Sri Lanka in their second dig at close of play they had actually wiped off the deficit of 179 runs. They were just ahead by I think it was 6 runs. Yeah, it was 7 runs that they were ahead on, and 186 for over was the final score. Kaushal Silva on his comeback showed a lot of determination, and he played some very good strokes to make 81, but unfortunately Pakistan took the honours as Kaushal Silva was gone in the last over of the day, unfortunately for Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka finished with 186 for 4. So we'll talk about that, and then we will have a short preview of the test match which is coming up, as we are all waiting whether Australia could make a clean sweep of the Ashes series, which has been done twice in the past, and this is the third time that if at all Australia do it, it will be the third time in an Ashes series that would be a clean sweep. So last time I think it was done in 2007, if my memory serves me right. So Australia would be taking on England today in the final Ashes test match of the series. And that is going to be played at the Sydney Cricket Ground, which is known as the SCG. I'll be coming to that. So first, let's go and see how things really happened here on day 3 at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium here in Abu Dhabi, where day 3 was enacted between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Well, Pakistan, as I said, they were looking good. Bilawal Bhatti was there at the crease. He had Asad Shafiq for company. But let me tell you, the batting was not so easy in the morning. The ball was moving around. As I said, there was getting some deviation of the pitch, and the Sri Lankan bowlers, even though they were pretty, I mean, as I said, the Sri Lankan pace attack is a bit weak. But what they did is they saw that was some greenish tinge still left, and the morning's play started with something similar to what Pakistan did to Sri Lanka, where they used the pitch. So the pitch definitely helped them. So the pitch has been behaving in a bit odd way, I would say. Sometimes it's really very easy for batting, and sometimes it is really giving something to the bowlers. And well, definitely Suranga Lakmal and Shaminda Ranga bowled the right lines, and they were rewarded. And in fact, Bilawal Bhatti was really struggling. He was all at sea against the bowling of Lakmal and Ranga, because he was beaten a couple of times. He was not really getting his bearings right, and Bilawal Bhatti was really struggling to even get runs on the board, and Bilawal Bhatti took a long time. While that was happening, Asad Shafiq was the first to go, as Lakmal got a ball which swung away, and he was caught by Silva for 13 with 2 boundaries. After that, Bilawal Bhatti was struggling, and then before Rangana Herath was brought in, already Shaminda Ranga picked up the wicket of Adnan Akmal, who was caught by Sachitra Sen and Aike for 6, and then Bilawal Bhatti gave some company to Bilawal Bhatti, and he contributed 14 runs with 2 fours, being a victim of Angelo Matthews, which made the score 369 for 7. And then the tail was completely cleaned up by not only did Herath come in and clean up the tail. As I said, the Bilawal Bhatti was really struggling in the morning. After the left arm spinner Rangana Herath came, that is the time Bilawal Bhatti could actually get some runs. He had a conventional sweep shot for 4, and he picked up runs, but it was Rangana Herath, the left arm spinner, who finished off the job that was actually done by the pace bowlers, Lakmal and Iranga. he actually finished off Pakistan by restricting them to 383, as he first had Saeed Ajmal LBW for a duck, then he had Rahat Ali bowled for a duck, and then Misbah-ul Haq, who was running out of partners, finally succumbed to Rangana Herath, as was caught by Sangakarra of the bowling of Herath for 135 with 16 fours and 1 6, and thus ended this Pakistani innings at 383 all out. Junaid Khan was not out on 4. As I said, good credit to the Sri Lankan bowlers for bowling the right lines and hitting a good length, and they definitely had some assistance from the pitch, and they really took advantage of that, with Lakmal returning figures of 2 for 99, 33 overs, 9 maiden. See, today he moved the ball about. We could see some balls which were going away from the batsman, and you could also get his in-swinger going, and that's what troubled Misbah-ul Haq the most. Angelo Matthews 13 overs on maiden, 143. Shaminda Ranga bowled once again superbly, adding up a notch of adding up some pace too. 30 overs, 6 maidens, 80 runs and 3 wickets, and Rangana Herath finishing it off 35.1 overs, 9 maidens, 93 runs and 3 wickets, and Senanayaka 18 overs, 2 maidens, none for 66. So that really meant that Pakistan were in the ascendant with a 179 run lead, but Sri Lanka definitely did well. Otherwise Pakistan could have gone on to a score of 500, but they definitely stopped them in their tracks there. And so I think one should commend the Sri Lankan bowlings for putting up a good show. And then Sri Lanka in their second dig started off decently with Karunaratne and Kaushal Silva at the crease, and both of them looking confident. And things were going on very well, with Kaushal Silva also playing some attractive strokes. He's a short guy, as you know, he's making his comeback. And Karunaratne was also looking good. But when they were just trying to get to a 50-run stand, that was the time Junaid Khan got a ball which snaked in between the bat and pad gap of Karunaratne and went on to crash into the stumps. So that was the first wicket to go. So Sri Lanka 179 runs in arrears. They lost the first wickets at 47 when Karunaratne was sent packing to the pavilion, clean bowled by Junaid Khan for 24 with 3 boundaries. And after that, Kumar Sangakarra came in, and they started recovering the innings for Sri Lanka. It was pretty essential too, with a huge deficit of 179 runs. And in the company of Kumar Sangakarra, Kaushal Silva was playing some beautiful strokes. In fact, if you look at his stroke wagon wheel, he was pretty strong on the offside. He was stroking the ball perfectly and nicely, and he was very strong on the offside. He got his majority of runs through the cover drive shot, which he favorites, I suppose. And it was good to see. He's very short, but when he hits the stroke, when he strokes the ball, he strokes it sweetly and times it perfectly. And this partnership really helped matters for Sri Lanka, because they started putting on a 99-run partnership. On the other hand, Sangakarra, well, he was playing some effortless strokes, as is his wont. As you know, Sangakarra normally is a wonderful player to watch. He was actually driving well and beautifully executing those effortless strokes that he played, and both of them put together a 99-run partnership, and they were actually, and that was the time where Sri Lanka one felt like they were really recovering, and probably these two batsmen are going to actually go on and wipe off the deficit by this evening with no wickets being lost. But that was the time Bilawal Bhatti was brought into the attack, and Bilawal Bhatti, and when the score was looking good, as I said, from 47 for 1, they recovered to 146 for 146, and that was the time Bilawal Bhatti struck. And Bilawal Bhatti, as you know, he's making his debut. He bowled well in the first innings too. And once again he came in and did a double strike. First he picked up, and what he did was something that he would be very happy about, and that too he would definitely remember his debut test match, and especially the second innings. But as he took 2 prize wickets, first he picked up the wicket of Kumar Sangakarra when he got him to actually edge a ball, and Yunis Khan in the slips taking the catch of the bowling of Bhatti for 55. The ball just moved in a bit. In fact, there was some late movement for Bilawal Bhatti, and Kumar Sangakarra was caught into that, and Yunis Khan taking the catch, and he was gone for 55 with 6 fours. That was a big blow for them, as Bilawal Bhatti provided the much needed breakthrough for Pakistan. After that, Mahela Jayawardene, the another veteran, walked in to join Kaushal Silva, and definitely there was a huge responsibility on Mahela Jayawardene. But Mahela Jayawardene definitely disappointed. Not only that, he got an unplayable delivery from Bilawal Bhatti, which actually lifted on him, and Jayawardene was absolutely squared up, and the nick was taken by Asad Shafiq, and that was a really unplayable delivery. Now Bilawal Bhatti would, as I said, he would really remember this test match, for the reason that on his debut, he has taken 2 prize wickets of Kumar Sangakarra and Jayawardene, and that too. And you know, Bilawal Bhatti has taken Jayawardene's wicket twice, and this is a debut test match that Bilawal Bhatti will definitely remember, because what he did is he picked up Jayawardene in the first innings too, in identical circumstances, with the ball lifting off a good length spot, and here he had Jayawardene absolutely groping as he actually got a ball to absolutely lift once again, and Jayawardene was absolutely squared up, and the ball had carried to Asad Shafiq in the slips, and Bilawal Bhatti actually dismissed Jayawardene for a duck. Not only that, he had dismissed he had taken 2 prize wickets, and he had really turned turned the game Pakistan's way by reducing Sri Lanka to 150 for 3. And Bilawal Bhatti will definitely, as I said, would remember, because these were the 2 prize wickets that he got in the second innings, and he has done a great favor to Pakistan by picking up these 2 wickets. So 150 for 3 when Jayawardene left the scene, and that once again in walked in Dinesh Chandimal, who definitely has to prove something to Sri Lanka, because as you know, Kumar Sangakarra and Jayawardene are definitely coming to their evening of their careers, and it was very essential. I mean, Dinesh Chandimal and Laidu Thirumanne are the one who have been tipped to actually take over from them. Dinesh Chandimal came in and joined Kaushal Silva. Kaushal Silva, well, he was playing, he was doing his job very well, and once again it meant that from a position where they were trying to get Sri Lanka back into the game, after losing that wicket of Sangakarra and Jayawardene, once again there was a spanner in the works, and again it was another recovery being done by Kaushal Silva along with Dinesh Chandimal. Well, Dinesh Chandimal played some very good strokes, and both of them took on the score to 186. In fact, they had done all the good work. In fact, they almost taken Sri Lanka to safety at stumps. It was the last over of the day, and on the last over of the day, with the 3rd delivery, Junaid Khan actually, what he did is he bowled a superb delivery. He got a ball to Kaushal Silva, whereby Kaushal Silva got an edge onto it, and it was a low catch which was taken by Adnan Akmal, the wicketkeeper. It was a difficult catch, but well taken, I thought, by Adnan Akmal behind the stumps. And Junaid Khan was the one who struck, and that was stumps on day 3, with the umpires removing the bails, as Kaushal Silva, after doing the hard work, and he also got his maiden test half century. He was making a comeback, as you know, into the Sri Lankan team, and that would have been a great relief for Kaushal Silva to have 81 runs to his name with 11 boundaries. As I said, his most favoured strokes were coming from the offside. In fact, I would say, majority of strokes came through the offside, especially through the cover region, and Kaushal Silva's contribution was a very good 81 runs with 11 fours, and that left Dinesh Chandimal not out on 24, with Sri Lanka closing the day on day 3 at 186 for 4. And they would have definitely loved Kaushal Silva to stay there, because tomorrow, again, it's going to be a problem for Sri Lanka, because the new ball will definitely be claimed after a few overs. I mean, probably now the 61.3 overs have been bowled by Pakistan with this old ball, and then definitely in a matter of time, I'm sure in 15 overs time or 14 overs time, we will have the new ball due, and that's going to make life pretty difficult for Sri Lanka in the morning, I suppose. They are right now just nosed ahead of, this is nothing, I would say, because they are just 7 runs ahead. They have a huge task in front of them. They have already lost their kingpins, Sangakarra and Jayawardene, thanks to Bilawal Bhatti, double strikes. But now it will be, the onus will be on Dinesh Chandimal, who definitely would get, this is an opportunity for him to really prove a point, to say that he's really ready to take over from Sangakarra and Jayawardene as and when they retire. And also, not only that, they still have Angelo Matthews, the captain, still to come. Prasanna Jayawardene has a good test record, even though he failed in the first match. So, but I think things are going to be pretty difficult for Sri Lanka. But I think it's an interesting day's play coming up tomorrow. Let's look at the bowling figures here. Junaid Khan, 13.3 overs, no maiden, 2 for 46, bowled well. Rahat Ali, again wicketless, 17 overs, 6 maidens, none for 33 for him. Bilawal Bhatti, not only that, let me praise Bilawal Bhatti, because Bilawal Bhatti has not only the knack of actually getting wickets, but he also, if one sees him, he's very short, and but he can sometimes really surprise the batsman with tremendous pace, because one of the balls that he bowled, it actually came at 145 Ks, so that you could just imagine that Bilawal Bhatti can generate some real torrid pace at times, and that's what he precisely did. And I think he's really looking like a real find for Pakistan. 14 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 65. His double strike was the one which was responsible for Sri Lanka reduced to 186 for 4 at close of play. Saeed Ajmal 13 overs, 3 maidens, none for 30. Mohammad Hafiz 4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 10. So that's the match situation as far as the third day goes at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium here in Abu Dhabi. Well, so let's now let's get into the preview, a very brief preview of the fifth and final Test match, which is coming in at the Sydney Cricket Ground in this Ashes Test Series. Australia will definitely be eyeing a clean sweep. Everybody are waiting for that. As I said, in the history of the Ashes series, it's only twice that a clean sweep has been done. And for me, there is only one thing. Yes, definitely one is looking out for Australia to clean sweep the series, no doubt about that. But one thing that would have a great significance is Mitchell Johnson. I said that in my Cricket Happenings show before, that Mitchell Johnson would have an opportunity to break the bowling record, break the record for the most number of wickets in an Ashes series. Yes, he's definitely into that, and that is going to be the real talking point of this this particular match, the fifth and final test of the SCG, where Mitchell Johnson has already got 31 wickets in the series in 4 matches, and he has been man of the series for in three tests. What a wonderful performance from Mitchell Johnson. He's not yet done, and now he's just 4 wickets away from the Australian record for the most wickets taken by a pace bowler in an Ashes series. Not only that, he could also break other record, which is standing in the name of a person called Bill Whitty. He took 37 wickets in a 5-test series. Now, in an Ashes series, it is 31 wickets, but in any 5-test series, if you look at, Bill Whitty holds the record for 37. I wouldn't be surprised if Mitchell Johnson goes on to break that record of Bill Whitty. Absolutely no surprises, because he is just 6 wickets away from that, and in 2 innings he can definitely do that. But as you all know, the all-time record stands in the name of a wonderful player from Australia of yesteryear. His name is Clary Grimmett. He had 44 wickets in a 5-match series in Ashes, and that is, I think, it's a wonderful, I mean, that is something that Mitchell Johnson wouldn't be able to reach. But I'm sure one would be hoping that he breaks the record of Bill Whitty's and holds the record for Australia, and his name is etched in the record books, saying that Mitchell Johnson has taken, or either he would equal it or he would probably surpass that and become the most highest wicket getter in an Ashes in a 5-test series. Well, good luck to Mitchell Johnson. Well, England would definitely be having a psychological problem here, because they have been down in the dumps. They already lost 4 test matches now, the 5th. And so what is England going to do? Is it going to be horses for courses? Well, one has to look. I mean, the news that is coming up is there's going to be some changes. In fact, Alistair Cook, the English captain, had already hinted at some changes. And looking at the changes, Gary Ballance could get an opportunity. So Gary Ballance could come into the team. So that is something that could happen. So Gary Ballance, he would be making his debut. Michael Carberry, I mean, I would say that Michael Carberry, even though he struggled in the second match, I would definitely love to see Michael Carberry back, because I think he has not done anything wrong. He has been pretty consistent with his knocks of 40-odd runs, and he has also got a 50 to his name. So I think that Michael Carberry should have his place. The other thing on the bowling front, the spinner Monty Palliser has been absolutely dismal. He's not been amongst the wickets. He is not able to. His fielding is something which has always been a minus point for England, and one would be tempted to think that the tall Boyd Rankin would be actually bowling in at the SCG to the Australians, and that would be good to see, because I would definitely love to see Boyd Rankin, because Boyd Rankin has lots of pace, he has good bounce, and pretty much on Australian tracks he could really prove a handful. And I'm really looking forward to Boyd Rankin doing well against Australia. And other than that, there's nothing really. Scott Borthwick, yes, in fact, probably in Monty Palliser's place, we would be seeing Scott Borthwick, the right-arm leg spinner, coming in. And as you know, leg spinners have been a rare commodity for England in their history, if you see. The last person that I remember is Ian Salisbury, who bowled for England. And also there was one more person. I think it was I think it was Schofield who once played, if I'm not wrong. But definitely Scott Borthwick is not only a leg spinner, but he's also scored some centuries, I'm told, in the English County League. So that is something. So Borthwick already has some centuries too. So he has 4 first-class centuries, and I think that would augur very well for Borthwick. So he would definitely bring his batting also to the fore. I think he would be a complete package there. As far as Australia are concerned, well, as I said, all eyes will be on Mitchell Johnson. I'm sure they would go on with the same team. I don't think there could be any change, and I think this might be the first time that it would be happening in an Ashes series where Australia have gone with a totally unchanged lineup for all the 5 matches of the Ashes Test series. And I wish that happens today. And well, I can only say that Borthwick coming in place of Palliser, and Boyd Rankin would be taking the place of Bresnan. Well, looking at what is in real store here, I'm told there's a lot of grass in the Sydney pitch, so that should really help matters. And I think Boyd Rankin should really like this. And well, there is not, I think the temperatures are going to be around 22 to 27 degrees, and I think there should not be much rain as far as Sydney is concerned. And one hopes that we have a great game of cricket here, the Ashes Test series in the new year, and one has to see whether England's luck changes in the year 2014. England would be definitely be hoping that they could actually defeat Australia and probably save some face before they leave. Before this Ashes series ends, and their best effort would be that they would like to stop Australia from making a clean sweep of the Ashes series. Now, that is the only thing that England could do now. Just stop Australia from actually swamping them 5-0. So good luck to England, and also good luck to Australia for getting a clean sweep. So it would be a good battle to watch here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this note, your host Ram would like to end the cricket show for today and see you all tomorrow. But tomorrow I'll be back with a match report on this the first day's play in the Ashes Test series, and also you will be hearing from me on day 4 of the first Test match between Pakistan and Sri Lanka at Abu Dhabi. Until then, it's goodbye. Thank you.